Hello again, I'm Katie from the tech team, and this is our second video on learning LinkedIn. In our first video, we went over what LinkedIn is, how to set up an account, some LinkedIn lingo, and we developed our introduction card. In today's video, we are going to cover finishing up our profile and adding some education and experience and a little bit more, how to network with other people, and how to use LinkedIn to apply for jobs. Let's dive in. In our last video, we finished up with our introduction card. Now we're going to explore the rest of our profile and see what we can add to it. Right here, I do want to immediately point out this open to job opportunities is not something that is always on your profile. You can customize whether or not you are open to job opportunities or not. If you are in your dream job or you're just here to network, you do not have to have this on your page. If you do have something like open to job opportunities on your page, you can customize it using the pencil here and indicate which jobs you're open to, what titles, what locations, even what type of work. If you're interested in full-time, remote work, contract position, you can do all of that with the pencil here. And I do want you to pay attention to who can see that. Mine is set to only recruiters, so only people that have a LinkedIn recruiter package can do that. Or you could have it visible to everyone in your network. If it's visible to everyone in your network, then they'll all know that you are open to new job opportunities. So it can be a great thing, or it could be something that maybe a coworker's a little sad that you're looking to leave. So pay attention to that. Again, you'll edit it with the pencil right here, just like you're going to edit anything in this area that already has information. Is going to be the pencil is going to be your go-to. Your About section is going to be something that best reflects your own personal brand. You can add keywords in here whenever you're kind of typing up your About Me area. You want to make sure there's some keywords peppered in there because that's how someone might find you in a search. So you'll see I do have reference librarian in here as well as higher education industry. I don't currently work as a reference librarian or in the higher education industry, so I probably need to go in and change that, but if somebody is searching those, I could possibly still be coming up in those results. Same thing with my skills that I do kind of have listed in here, some of them, not all of them, and it's one of those that, again, if someone starts searching for library services, my profile could be one that comes up because someone is looking for someone else in that field. So just keep that in mind with your About section. You don't have to be super formal in it, but just like we were talking about before with our intro card, it's probably best to avoid jokes and things of that nature because you don't know how they're going to come across on the internet. Your dashboard is completely private to you. So your dashboard is not something that anybody else can see. It's just who's viewed your profile, if anybody's viewed any articles that you've written and shared, and if you've appeared in any search appearances. So this is just something that you can see. Same thing with salary insights. No one on LinkedIn is going to know your salary unless you want to advertise it or if you want to participate in their salary insights. You do not have to. But what you do want to participate in is adding your experience. You'll see I already have some job experience listed here, so I do have the option to edit it by selecting the pencil. Or I could add something completely new with a plus sign, which if you're just creating a LinkedIn, this is what you're going to have. So I'm going to click the plus sign here, and you're going to see at the top where I'm adding experience. I'm in the right section. And now I can start plugging in my new job. Or if it's a job that I held in the past, but I forgot to put on my profile in the right order, you can do either one this way. We'll pretend I got a new job and maybe I am going back to being a reference librarian. So I will put that in there, or maybe I want to be a soccer referee. That would be fun. I can put reference librarian, start typing it, and then I could click on it. Employment type, completely optional. I could select if it was, a part-time job. I'm not leaving my current employment. I'm just getting a part-time job. And then it wants the company. So if you start typing a company in here, I'll just type Charleston County Public Library, and you'll see I've only had to type a couple letters and this pops up. So I can select it, and now I've satisfied that company requirement. Location is not required. I could include it if I want to. And then right here we have a couple check boxes that I want to explain. If you're currently working in this role, you want to leave it checked automatically. It assumes that you're adding a new job, but again, you can add a past job if you deselect this, and then you'll have to input the month and the year for when you began and whenever you left that job. So you don't have to know the exact day that you started, but whenever you sit down to fill out your experience, it is good to have kind of a list of the month and the year when you began and when you left that position, just for record's sake. So I'm going to leave checked. I am currently working in this role, and then all I have to have is the start date, because it'll know that the end date is the present. It'll have a red box around it if it wants to draw my attention to, hey, you haven't filled this out yet. So it would require me to come to the drop-down menu here and select a month. It does recognize that I have one other current position, but that doesn't mean you can't be working multiple jobs at once. I mean, that's something that a lot of us do. So we could check the box to end this position with another one, and it'll just look like that I, started this job in February, so I must have left CCPL in February as well, but I really didn't, so I'm not going to end my position here, and it'll still have my current position as this new one I'm adding, and the July 2019 to present technology librarian position. I can update my industry and my headline. My headline previously said technology librarian at Charleston County Public Library. If I add this job, I can update my headline to reference librarian at Charleston County Public Library. So again, I have some options. I don't have to do it. I could update my industry to public libraries as opposed to academic libraries. Again, it is what you want to do and what you want to have on your profile. Your description is where you can have a little bit more fun. So your description isn't just the dry copy and paste from your resume. Those are great, but when on LinkedIn, you can add a little bit more about what you've accomplished, what have you achieved, what awards have you received, what have you been able to do that makes you stand out. In addition to that, the text of it all, you can also upload media files. So if you have a wonderful presentation you created on a topic and you want to add it to your LinkedIn, do it. If you have a website that you've created and you want to link it to your web or your LinkedIn, you can link it. So again, if you click on upload, click on link, you'll see at the bottom here, I can paste or type a link to a file, a video, website, and then I'll be able to click on add to add that into my experience area. Something you really can't do on a paper resume. You can't exactly attach a video to it, but you can do that here, which I think is pretty neat if that is appropriate for your field. At the bottom here, it does default to sharing with your network. I've changed my settings in the past that every time I add a new job, it doesn't share with my network by default, but you can toggle this on and off, because quite often if I'm scrolling through my feed, I'll see a friend has started a new job and I'll just send them a little congratulations, or I'll like their new position. So you can do that. There's nothing wrong with it. I just tend to tinker on my LinkedIn a lot, and I don't want people getting constant updates on their news feed that I'm making changes. If this was a real position, and if you are following along and working on your own LinkedIn, you would of course click save to save all your hard work that you've input, but I did not really start this job, so I am going to click the X up here. It's going to ask me, am I sure? Do you want to discard the changes? And I'm going to agree with it. I do want to discard the changes. I don't need a new job right now. If I scroll down a little bit more, you'll see my experience on there, and you'll see that there are 2 experiences that are not listed, but I could click on the blue link here and expand that. My education, it's not required. It is okay if you want to have your education on there. I have mine on there because there are still people that I went to school with that are suggested connections for me, and there's some people that I haven't seen in a long time, and if we went to USC Beaufort together and studied English, and then all of a sudden we both find ourselves in the library world, this has happened, now we have a lot more to chat about. We can, share professional development ideas. We can talk about what's working in our libraries and what isn't. So again, you can have your education on here. It is not a requirement. If you were a history major and now you're trying to become an IT specialist, well, maybe your history degree on your LinkedIn doesn't really do you any favors. In that case, if you've added any certificates or diplomas to your repertoire, you could add them in here instead of having, your bachelor's degree in history or whatever. Your skills and endorsements are something that you definitely want to spend some time with, so you can have up to 50 skills on your LinkedIn account. Doesn't mean you have to have all 50 on there. It's okay if you don't, but they give them to you, so why not fill as many out as you can? You can add a new skill by simply clicking on Add a New Skill, and based on your profile, it'll kind of, if you have it filled out, it'll kind of suggest some skills that they think you might have based on other skills you have. I could add archival research, higher education, they're kind of affiliated, or I could search for something up here. Like if I was skilled with, Microsoft Outlook, I could add it all on here, or I could quickly remove it if it was a mistake and I did not mean to include that there. So it'll count with you right up here and let you know how many more skills you have to add. And whenever you're done, you can click on Add there. And you'll notice they're not going to pop up immediately on your profile. This is because you only have 3 skills pinned to the top of your profile at a time, and you determine which skills these are by using the pencil. When you click on the pencil, you'll be taken to your skills and endorsements, and you'll see how many you have total. I have 24, but only 3 show on my profile without doing more digging. I have these 3 pinned, but if I click on the pin next to one of them, you'll see even in the background it disappears. So now I no longer have research pinned. I could scroll down to my other skills, and I could pin something else up there, and it even breaks me up into different categories here. So if I wanted to go back and put research there, I absolutely could, or I could put something different entirely. So just know that you determine the 3 skills that are at the top. Now, you might notice these little 2 next to some of my skills. That means that 2 people have endorsed me for these skills. 2 of my colleagues at USC Beaufort has said, yes, Katie is good at writing, I'll put my name to that. Or you can go to somebody else's profile. If you know they're really great at Microsoft Excel, they are a whiz, you want to go give them an endorsement for that skill, you can do that for someone else too. So it's good to, build your network, have some colleagues or former coworkers that can say, oh yeah, like this person's a rock star at this. Beyond that, they can even write a recommendation for you, which is something we'll go over a little bit later. But again, endorsements are just a quick little check next to somebody's skill that you want to say, yes, they can do this. Your accomplishments and your interests are other things you can fill out on your profile. Your interests are based off of things that you follow on your news feed, which we're going to get to soon. And your accomplishments can be a variety of things. If you click on the checkbox here, it can be anything from a publication to the organization that you are a part of, languages you speak, a particular honor that might be prestigious that you received. So you can add these on here in as much or as little detail as you want. And with that being said, we've pretty much reached the basics of a profile. There is more that you can add. You can even add it straight from the top right here, add a particular section to your about, your featured. You can really play around with these tools. There's so much you can add on here, even volunteer experience. It's really a great tool, and you, again, don't have to have all of this on here, but it does help to be able to at least have your education, have a little bit about you on here, and be able to connect with other people that might have those skills and be able to find you because you have those skills. We've talked about connecting with people and finding people, so let's do that now. Before we go to the My Network tab, which is where you can manage all of your connections, I do want to show you something down here on our profile page under the People Also Viewed. You'll see right here where there are some people that I'm not necessarily connected with, but if someone has looked at my profile, chances are they've looked at this person's type of profile as well. You'll see that there are some numbers next to this, 3rd, 1st. I don't see a 2nd in here, right? Oh, yep, now there's a 2nd. What this means is if you are a 1st degree connection, that is someone that you are directly connected with. Either they've sent you a request, you've sent them a request, and you approved it. You are connected on LinkedIn. Second degree, just think of it kind of taking a step out. You are not friends or connected with them, but you share a connection. You have a mutual connection somewhere in there. And again, third degree is a little bit further out. You'll see from right here, this person is a second connection of mine, and so I have an icon right here where I could instantly add them because we have a connection in common, and therefore, you know, we might have come across each other in some type of setting. Third degree connections, you don't have that ability to instantly add them. You have to send them a message and request, you know, hey, we met at a conference that has nothing to do with, you know, the industries that we're in, or you met on vacation and really hit it off. It's not the Facebook of it all, but you could send them a message to connect as well. So we do have this over here on the right hand side. You'll see this one has a message icon next to it because it's a first degree connection. I know her, and we could just start messaging each other. I don't need to send her a request, and I don't need to ask her permission to add her to my network. So that's what you'll see with this on your profile page as you continue to build it. And then when you want to manage your network, you can click on My Network here. Over here you can manage your connections, people you follow, groups that you join, newsletters, hashtags. All of these different things can be managed straight from the My Network page. I do not have any pending invitations, but if I did, I would have a red alert right here, and I would have a invitation here that I could accept or deny based on if I knew that person or wanted to connect with them. And then right here, there's the people you may know at the Charleston County Public Library. And again, a lot of these are familiar faces to me, so I might say, oh yeah, I didn't know we weren't connected. So they'll either have their employment maybe down below and what we have in common, or that we might have a couple mutual connections. So if I click on connect, that's sending them a request, and now it's up to them to determine if they want to connect with me or if they don't want to. Let's apply for some jobs. So if you click jobs here at the top, you'll see that it looks like a pretty standard job search engine. You can search by title, skill, or company, city, state, zip code. It will keep track of your job searches right here, so you could go right back in and pick up where you left off if you have been hunting for jobs for a little while on LinkedIn. It'll also take a peek at your profile, and it might generate some suggestions. I do like the feature that sometimes it'll say, be an early applicant, because one cool thing that we're going to see in a second with LinkedIn is that it might let you know like 8 people have applied for this job, and so that's something kind of neat to look at, I believe. You'll also sometimes see things like 22 alumni or one other connection. It will let you know if someone you are connected with, or maybe someone that you might have a shared job experience or college experience with that works at a company. So it does keep track of things like that if you like that. I don't see anything that says librarian, so I'm not going to click on any of those. But if I click in the search by title, skill, or company right here, it's kind of neat because again, it keeps track of my searches, but easily you can clear your history. It's only visible to you, but I can clear it out if I'm, wanting to start fresh. Or it'll give me some suggestions on what to search for. So I'm going to click on reference librarian, and it's going to do all the work for me. Now up here, notice it has done it just in United States. So I could narrow that down back to Charleston, or I could say, I'm open to moving anywhere. The United States is fine. You can apply some filters up here if you want to, have it be a certain company, or maybe there's a company that, you prefer. It'll let you know how many jobs are offered from each company. You can take a look at the experience level required here, whether it's an internship or entry level, which the majority of them are. And I also want you to see that some are going to be promoted, because LinkedIn is a pretty popular tool that people will use to recruit others, or that they actually spend money on advertising on LinkedIn. So these 2 positions are promoted, and it says right here, actively recruiting. And right here, this one already has 15 applicants. So this is in Texas. Just in 2 weeks, they've gotten 15 applicants. I don't think I'm gonna make that move. But this one right here, if I click on it, I do want to show you, this is in Washington, D.C., and you have the option to save the job, which is great if you want to come back and apply to it later. But a cool thing about LinkedIn is you can easy apply. Now what that means is if I click on Easy Apply, it's going to use what is kind of generated off of my LinkedIn. So it will ask me to include a resume, which is something that either I need to have handy or you can actually generate from your LinkedIn page. And what I mean by that is I'm going to close out right here. We'd submit our application after we uploaded all that. I'm going to close out right here. I'm going to discard this. I'm going to save this job. We're going to come back to it a little bit later, but let's go to our profile, view profile. And then right here where it says more at the top of your profile, if you click on more, you can build your resume straight from LinkedIn. If you click on build resume, oh, I did one not too long ago, but I'm going to click on new resume. And you're going to see right here, it has used my LinkedIn information and built a resume for me. So again, I could, of course, add some things in, remove it. If anything's empty, it's not going to appear on your resume. But if I do like this, I will scroll back up. I'm going to preview it. And this is what it would look like as a Word document. And this is where I could double check things and say, okay, this is, putting my best foot forward. I like it. It's easy. And then if I like it a lot, I can download it as a PDF. So it is downloaded right here. I could go back to jobs. Now, how do I find that saved job? Well, right up here you have a tab where saved jobs, applied jobs, alerts, even some interview prep that's worth checking out. I'm going to click on saved jobs. These are some things that I have saved, and I'm going to use this easy apply right here. So if I click on easy apply, I can read the description, but I already know I want to do this. All I have to do is add in my phone number, upload my resume, go find it in my downloads, and I would be able to apply for this job. No additional information that would need to be supplied. I could submit my application. Not going to actually apply, but I do want you to be aware of the resume builder tool as well as how easily you can apply for jobs on LinkedIn. That's not to say that you can't do it the traditional way. If you would prefer to just find a job on LinkedIn, I'm going to go back to jobs and then go to my saved jobs. There was another one that I saved previously that I would not be able to easy apply. It just says apply, and then you get a alert after you click on apply that it's going to take me to an outside website. So again, this would be through hiredally.com. I'm not going to do that today, but do know that some LinkedIn applications will send you to another site depending on how the job has had it set up. Thank you for joining me for this video. I hope you feel more comfortable with applying for jobs, connecting with others, and developing your own LinkedIn profile. Stay tuned for the next video where we're going to talk a little bit more about privacy and security, how to use the messaging feature, and how to interact with others on your home feed. I'll see you then.